gentlemen, the President of the Philippines, Mayor Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Philippines, Mayor Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Sawa na ang bayan ko sa magnanakaw na tao. Madilim na kahapon, ikaw ang mag-aahon.
Si Freddy Aguilar nagsawa na sa magnanakaw, kasawa ko na sa biyahe. Nanuog. This would have completed my tour of the ASEAN countries. Kompleto na po. Executive Secretary Salvador Medallia, the members of the Cabinet here, Congresswoman Imelda Calixto Rubiano, the Lone District of Pasay, City of Pasay Mayor Antonio Calixto, fellow workers in government, mga kababayan. I am pleased to be back home. I returned from official visits to Myanmar and Thailand with a renewed sense of optimism for the future of our relations of our important friends in the region and our brothers in ASEAN. In Myanmar, I held fruitful and productive discussions with President U Chu on how to further deepen and broaden bilateral cooperation. We agreed to intensify two-way trade and investments to sustain growth for our peoples. With the many growing Philippine companies seeking new markets in our region and in Myanmar, I emphasize the value of economic partnerships between the private sectors in ASEAN countries. We emphasize the need for law enforcement collaboration in order to address terrorism, violent extremism, piracy, and drug trafficking. We ought to have stronger collaboration in human resource development through education, capacity building, and technical assistance. Both sides recognize the importance of providing accessible and affordable food for our peoples. In this regard, we signed the Memorandum of Understanding on Food Security and Agricultural Cooperation. President Yu Cho and I directed the responsible agencies to ensure that the objectives of this agreement would be realized through concrete projects. In my meeting with Daw San Suu Kyi, I expressed support for the reform movement in Myanmar. In our similar historic experiences, we have a joint stake in strengthening democratic values, institutions, and processes in the region. I also expressed support for Myanmar's effort to address the challenges in the affected communities of the Rakhine State. Our modest financial assistance is just one way of the many ways the Philippines can help find Myanmar in finding a lasting solution to the complex issues it faces in that state. With Senior General Min Aung Hlaing, we have underscored the importance of further strengthening defense and security ties. This is vital in order to address the menace of terrorism, violent extremism, piracy, and illegal trade drugs. These scourges threaten to undermine the growth we have so far achieved. In Thailand, I had a warm and open discussion with Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha. Prime Minister Prayut and I identified two areas to further elevating the excellent ties between the Philippines and Thailand. Among many areas, we agreed to expand cooperation to address security, which is really the common concern of everybody in this region. It's terrorism, extremism, and we also have a very serious problem about drugs. We affirmed intensified collaboration in the areas of military, trade and investment, tourism, agriculture, science and technology, energy, education, among others. We signed 3 important documents: agreement in the field of science and technology, implementing agreement on the specific areas of cooperation on the swamp and dairy buffalo production, and the implementing program of tourism cooperation in 2017 to 2022. I also met Sharon Pokhand group officials which committed $2 billion in investments expansion in 5 years. They are already here. This will largely focus on the Visayas and Mindanao region. Leaders of the Federation of Thai Industries, Thai Chamber of Commerce, Thai Bankers Association, Thai Philippines Business Council, and Philippines-Thai Business Association, and I saw more investments for our country. Both visits, the China Sea was discussed. We stressed the need to maintain peace and stability in the region. We underscored respect for freedom of navigation and overflight rights in the interest of all countries and outside the region. We emphasized the need for the full effective implementation of the Declaration of the Conduct of Parties in the South China Sea and expressed determination to complete the framework of the Code of Conduct in 2017. On a final note, as you are aware, Philippines is the chair of ASEAN this year. Both visits were important for me to get to know my counterparts and to discuss them the issues concerning our region. And of our hosting in the 30th ASEAN this year. In both visits, I sought and received the support of Myanmar and Thailand for the Philippines ASEAN chairmanship. I put forward our initiatives in priorities for a stronger ASEAN, and as the Philippines takes on the helm of ASEAN chairmanship this year, we seek to set tone of the next 50 years of ASEAN. Now more than ever, it is important to realize that our destiny lies in ASEAN and the other Pacific region. Your government is making sure that the priorities and initiatives put forth in ASEAN reflect aspirations of our people. More importantly, we want to ensure that the benefits gained from ASEAN are not only felt by the elite, but more importantly by the people on the ground. We want an ASEAN that is for the people, a truly people-oriented and people-centered community. I join all of you, my countrymen, to take part in this regional community-building process, and the Philippines will take its leadership role. Together, the Philippines can do its part as a leader of this region. daghang salamat ug may buntag kaninyong tanan. Can take some few questions.
Mr. President, we have a question from CNN Philippines. A.C. Nichols.
Ikaw talaga ang first, ma'am.
Good morning, sir. Welcome back.
Mayong buntag, ma'am.
Sir, you'll be celebrating your birthday po next week. It's the
Tapos na
first-
po. They gave you the wrong date. It was really March 14. Maliho yung 28.
Hindi po pa, sir,
Na-
next Tuesday.
I saw you on that day, di ba?
Po?
Kalimutan na.
Sir, pero next week po, sir, sa birthday niya, sir, do you have any special plans? First time po as president, sir.
No, I only have one wish actually. Nakuha ko na lahat. No more gifts to, except maybe a prayer to God for my country. I have reached the apex of my career. Material things which I cannot and will no longer be of use to me. I'm 72 years old. Give or take the reality of it all. It's been about 5 to 7 years. I'm about ready by that time also. By the time, God willing, if I complete the term, I would be walking slowly than when I entered. Medyo saguyod na sa Bisaya. So, my wish, really, my prayer to God is that bigyan niya ako ng kunting lakas na lang to do an overwork time because it is needed. 24 hours is not really enough for the presidency. Unless you want to sleep more than just about 4 hours. I get to a lot of state documents. And just to be careful, because I'm a lawyer, I'm really to understand what I'm approving. Mahirap na po ma-impeach.
Sir, it's going to
No more. Pag na-impeach tayo. So, extra careful, extra judicious. And that's, I only ask God that give me a little bit of time, a little strength to surmount the problems of the country, and that I'd be able to, not really to solve, but maybe mitigate some of the rigors of governance. At ang problema. Ang hinihingi ko po lang, tulong lang sa Diyos. At kunting o maraming pagka people will understand what I'm doing. I am really hindi naman ultra, but we'll have just to deal with seriously the problems of I hope to, there's a back channeling going on, I must admit that, but there are certain conditions to me which are no longer negotiable. So either I have it before I embark on another journey of peace talks. To me, this is very important, and I've said it before. I would not want to overemphasize it. It might irritate the old ones. But ito yung talagang, this is it. And if you don't accept the conditions that I have imposed, I'm sorry, I cannot deal with you anymore. One is that, one is they have to stop. Yung iba lang sabihin ko. The false taxation must stop. Second is that they are been talking about their territory, that the soldiers of this republic cannot enter into territories they claim it is theirs. You know, I do not recognize any territory belonging to any group of persons. Only the Republic of the Philippines owns every inch of our territory, period. Third is that maybe I would ask for the release of all prisoners, soldiers, policemen, and civilians. Those would be the basic if they cannot give it to me, then I'm sorry. At this early, I would say that I would have tried everything, but these are the demands that I cannot negotiate anymore. It sets the tone of how a republic, how a country would deal with the enemies of the state. Nothing short of it. Hindi ko pwede yung... I, as the representative of the people, I do not recognize any boundary for my soldiers to go and the police to go in and out. Mahirap po yan. But all others, including the upliftment of the Filipino and reform, I would not confiscate but to improve on what is being done now. What was really lacking was the support. Yung equipments, the seedlings, and the time when they are in the waiting period for their plants to grow and harvest. Parang ganon. Anything that benefits the Filipino. Bibitawan ko ang the last centavo sa Republic for the people.
So just a quick follow-up, sir, on your birthday, sir. Is it going to be a quiet day with your family in Davao, or are you spending it here in Malacanang, sir?
You're back again to my birthday?
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. Sir,
Ayaw mong nawala sa akin. Tama ka. I'm a liar when it comes to that thing about birthdays. No, historically, ayaw ko magpadrama. Pero kami noon, migrants lang sa Mindanao. And neighbors, Sunny Dominguez are neighbors, but it's not the neighborliness. Kasi nagtitipid yung pamilya, all that we did, and every one of us, I don't know, but most of my siblings go, we follow the same rule. We just sleep it off the day. I would be very glad to spend my time with my newest grandson, Stone, and the rest of my children and grandchildren. That would have been the greatest gift that I can ask in this planet. Yun sa akin, tama na. And for those who may natanggap na kasi ako, you know, I'm not trying to be a spoiler. Wala rin akong drama kasi totoo. Kakasabi ko lang na ibigay na ng Diyos ang lahat ang dapat ko. Because God would only give you the things that you deserve. He does not give you things that you do not deserve or are not entitled to. So, naibigay na yung Diyos sa akin. I have reached, I said, the highest, the apex of anybody's dream. If you have something for me, some are very expensive, you know, I do not need it anymore. Saka paski bigyan niya ako ng mga diamante for every finger, I cannot wear it. Otherwise, I'd be stupid. And even watches and all. I stick with just what the ordinary people wears. Alam mo, maybe someday, but I said I'm too old for that. What would be the point of wearing a big diamond? You are 75, 76. You are better off with going to church every day to make up for the, you know, babawi ka pa doon sa mga pare. Baka gusto mo, ariglo na lang tayo. Pero wag mo na ngayon kasi left and right ang ano nila. Hindi naman tama yung iba. Especially the drug. Isabi ko nga sa inyo, if I will stop sa droga, if I mag-atras ako, I would have placed the next generation in jeopardy. Million kasi. Sabihin niya lang ninyo, 10,000, controllable number. Pero with a million, sabi ni General Santiago sa PDEA noon, during his time, ni Peget at 3. Tapos kay Bato ngayon, plus 1. I-maintain na lang natin. Let us put it at 3. Walang incremental increase. 3 million cuts across the country. Everywhere, the 3 million are distributed in all of the places of this country. Tapos, papaano yan? I'll give you an interesting point. I'm just being a lawyer. Kung itong mga drugista na ito, continued use of shabu and the drug will cause the human brain to shrink. Okay? Now, palagay na lang natin at a conservative estimate of about 800. Talagang unstable na. And they commit the crimes that they have committed before I became president. Do you know how many of them, right? It's 77,000. In drug-related, all over the country. 77. Who will now answer for this grievous period over time? Yung nabibilang nila, yung patay ng pulis o lying dead there in the pool of blood, and then you go into dramatics. Well, how about yung mga bata, yung mga estudyante, yung pinapatay, yung ino-hold up sa sakyanan noon, 77,000 is 77,000. Who will answer, who will take responsible for their deaths? United Nations? Have you contributed a single centavo to the funeral expenses? Yung mga bata na pinatay, yung mga infants na ni-rape, who will morally answer for all of these things? Ang problema lumabas to when I was mayor, I thought for the while that it was just a community drugs. Never did I realize that it would hit millions of Filipinos. And you have the goal to call my attention and even threaten me of bringing me to... You know, I said, and I will say it again and again, in these stakes there, when I was campaigning. Alam ko, why did I get the 3? Where did I convince the 6 million? Nandun nga ako sa Thailand. Maraming Pilipino. Anong sinabi ko? Vis-a-vis with the rest of the candidates. We are infrastructure, lahat, all the good things. I limited, mine was about 5 or 6 promises. I will stop corruption in government and it will stop. Magkayarian tayo dyan, it will stop. Then I said drugs. Then I said criminality. Then one of the things that I said I will allow the burial of Marcos. And I complied with my promise. Then you are mad at me. Gago ba kayo? Bakit niyo ako binoto? With the simple promises, hindi pa rin yun na. Then I said I would allow the economic managers that I will ask to help me run government. Hindi ako makialam. Nagsabi nga ako doon sa itong Mayte, sabi ko, bigyan mo lang ako 3 billion, okay na. I will build the hospital sa Holo, Basilan, and dyan sa Mary Johnston. Okay na sana sa akin. I was overruled by my secretary. I told him in the plane. Hindi ako makialam. Then you decide, and he filed cases. So, di pasensya. Mista ko yan sa class 67. I know him. And as a matter of fact, one time he wanted me to talk to Congressman Ungab of the 3rd District of Davao. He was the Ways and Means, and they were raising money for the sin taxes. And he came to Davao with that carton doon. Mabutit na lang ako nagbayad yung pagkain namin. I was the one who invited. Mista eh. Eh sabihin ko na lang, para walang... Baka sabihin pa yung, kasi noon, mayroon pa lang kayong Tapos umalis siya, sabi ko, Doc, I am not up to it. Hindi, Huwag mo akong ano dyan. Hindi ko talaga ginagawa yan. Tapos nung hiwas, makita niya, sabi ko, ano yan? O, parang gano'n, sabi ko, buksan mo nga. Pera, akala ko botilya. Kaya kung scotch lang, magkano lang man yan. Sabi ko, habulin mo. And, you know, yung sapal, meron yung camera. And there's a TV circuit. And you will see Bong there going up to the plane. It's about to take off. Sabi ko, isauli mo yung pera niya. Last Christmas, Malacanang may dumating na magandang baril. I think it was in Nighthawk 45. It's an expensive gun. Sabi ko, I do not accept gifts. Hindi nga ako tumatanggap noong mayor ako, lalo na ngayon. Kaya ngayon kayo, marami man kayo, if you want to give me something expensive, just give it to sabi mo lang, Adre, President, yung ibigay ko sa iyo, binili ko na lang ng bigas, binigay ko. I'd be happier. Bigyan mo ako ng, hindi ko man magamit. Bigyan mo ako ng gold. Bigyan mo ako ng mga Rolex na gold. Putang, anuhin ko yan? Pagdating ko doon sa baryo, mabuti pa itong gagawang itong presidente ito. Tayo naghirap siya, nagka-gold watch. You know, it's a drawback. When you become a public official, early on, because I was a son of a governor, my father exactly told me that behave in public. You only wear what they can wear. Do not buy things that they cannot buy. Kaya tayo, nasa gobyerno, I told my cabinet, if you want to travel, like it or not, they would always assume na gastos gobyerno yan. Nandiyan ka sa gobyerno yan. So take the kind of seats. Huwag kang magpano-ano dyan. Sabihin ito, mabuti pa ito. Mabuhay. So those are the things that you have to be careful about. Hindi ako, in birthdays, lalo na. Well, kasi mahirap na lang tayo. Ano lang tayo ng manok, ha? Nilagay yung dugo, yung puting manok. Tapos yan. And then you go to the San Pedro Church in Davao, the cathedral, and you light a candle and make a wish. Do you know what my wish are? Of my wish were? That I'd be president, I'd meet you from CNN. That's about it.
Thank you, sir.
Atras lagi.
Mr. President, the next reporter who will ask a question is Laila Salaveria of the Philippine Daily Inquirer.
Ma'am, hindi ka di talk louder kasi nakatulog ako yung ears ko. Kanina pa ako, ayaw lumabas ang buang hangin. Medyo mahina.
Good morning, sir. First, sir, I just like information on the statement of DILG Secretary Sueño. Is it that you want barangay positions declared vacant and the officials replaced with your own appointees to prevent those backed by narco money from heading barangays? Is
Again,
this your
barangay.
You want barangay positions declared vacant and the officials replaced with your own appointees?
You know, that's a problem. There is no legal basis for being there. Walang pulled over sa barangay. They are just there, I don't know, de facto, whatever. But the reason why I advise Congress, kinausap ko ito si Senator Soto, sinabi ko, because he knows the problem very well, but fingertips rin niya itong drug, kalaban niya. Sabi ko sa kanila, do not commit the mistake of calling for an elections now because narco politics has entered into the mainstream of Philippine politics. Natin, either patayin mo na natin itong mga yawa na ito kasi kung pagka hindi, they will be elected again and you have the looming elections next 20. The local elections, it's just around the corner. Kung nandyan ito, and they can influence the electorate, magkakaroon ng utang ng loob itong mga officials, delikado, because then you'll have completed the election of this country into a narco-politic state. De jure. Kaya sabi ko, wag muna, but they are there. I do not know what Senator Soto. Anong plano nila? Sabi ko, it's quite a bit messy. Kasi pagka tinanggal mo rin ang mga gagong to, magsigawa na, no? We are looking for a way to appoint na lang the barangay captains, but the mechanism of how to go about it, select them. Ako, I can, but you know, it's always the president who has the power to appoint. But I'm going to compromise with the church and everybody. They can nominate 3 citizens from, pagka magsabi ang PDEA, pati ang police, and the military, that they have no connections with the rebels. That's one. Second is that they are not into drugs. And third is that they are not really the leaders of politicians. If you can have that list, I would be happy to just, coming from the Roman Catholic, from the Islam group, the Jehovah's Witnesses, it's not actually interference, it's the preference of the character that who should be there. Eleksyon eh. Hindi naman sabihin nakikialam yung simbahan. And the Lions or lahat, lista mo lang yung accredited, they can nominate. So we can do away with shady character. Pero pag ginawa mong eleksyon ngayon, ito ang mananalo, yung nasa listahan. 40% of the total barangay captains are into drugs. That's my problem. Kaya kayong mga Pilipino, be sure to elect. Kasi hindi ko kaya kung ako lang. Wala akong panahon na patayin silang lahat. Tulungan ninyo ako. Yung next, be careful. Be careful with drugs. Dilita, pera yan eh. Tinanong ko nga, I ask somebody sa plane, how long did it take you to earn your first million? Tanongin ko si, he need not answer, tanongin ko si Speaker Villar, Sir, kailan ka kumita ng first million mo, second million? Years yan. Lahat dito nagtabi. Drugs. May ulol na mayor. He distributed drugs on the east side. Yung Odicta na yun was on the west side. And how many Filipinos are deranged now because of their activities? They cook drugs, 2 months, they are millionaire. Kaya maraming pumapasok dyan. It's the greed money. Bantay kayo dyan. It's easy to produce and you destroy a generation of Filipinos. Kaya nga ako sa OFW, let me lecture 2 minutes. Kaya dumudugo yung puso ko. Nakita ko sila lahat shouting, Duterte, with all the adulation and clapping. But what was in my mind? Well, I was looking at them. Yung pagod nila, nandoon nga sa ibang bayan. Yung sa ibang countries, 2-3 oras lang ang tulog. Because they are transferred from one household to another to clean. So itong anak, walang helper doon siya. Then he has to clean the room of another relative. That's why they say, it's uniform. Di ba ninyo nakita? They are only allowed 3 to 4 hours of sleep. Have you not noticed that? And they are abused, raped. And they endure it, most of them. Manganak na lang dyan sa aeroplano. Kayo. Yan ang masakit sa akin. Ang tatay nandito, yung gaday na doon. They work hard, endure abuses, so that they can send money here sa mga anak nila para mag-aral. And after years of toil, madisgrasya, mag-uwi dito, nakita nila anak nila, babae, naging whatever, o hindi, na biktima ng mga durugista. Why? Diyan sa baba ang pinakalaban, ang the miserable life is there. Then you add to their misery. You do not even consider for a moment the blood, sweat, and tears of the Filipino, millions of them outside of the country. Tapos mukainin niyo ako na, kaya kayong mga pare, yan, 10,000? Papatay ako ng 50. Sinabi ko naman, if you destroy my city, I will kill you. If you destroy my country, the more that I will kill you. I said, I will kill. Sa awa ng Diyos, wala pa akong pinatay ni isa ngayon. Kung hindi kayo bigay, hindi ko sinabing utusan ko yung police, pati sundalo magpatay. But if they kill those idiots, yung mga ulol sa buhay, in the performance of their duties, in obedience to my order, I will take the consequences. Do not worry. And if I will have to rot in prison, I will do it. Because not everybody is given the chance by God to be president. Not everybody, not Filipino na maging presidente. Putang ina, magpakamatay ako sa Pilipino. Let's say kayo. Talagang yayariin ko kayo. Do not do it. Drop Shabu. Drop everything. Kayong mga politiko, I warned you. The mayors and all, barangay captains, wag kayo talagang magkamal. Yayariin ko kayo. Do not do it to the Filipino. Not, lalo na ngayon. Ihirit ako ng ihirit. I do not really care what your mayor. Ako mismo magamit ng barit. Ako ang babaril sa iyo. Hindi kita madala sa ambag, barilin kita sa malayo. Lalo na yung mga politiko holding power. Do not do it. You are courting death there. Prangka-prangka na lang tayo. Hanggang dyan, wala namang iba kasing paraan. Either you continue to plunder this country, you work, you inflict misery and agony sa mga kababayan ko. At ako yung presidente ngayon. Who gets the blame? Who will answer for this? When at this time, tumabas itong mga to, we never realized that it would hit millions. And when did it happen? During my term. Hindi ko maipasa ito kay Aquino. Hindi ko mapasa ito kay Arroyo. Nandoon pa pala mayroon ng, sa amin mayon panahon nung hindi. Ikaw yung presidente ngayon, hindi solve it. Ngayon, ako, sige. Yung pala gusto ninyo. Kayong mga pare, you're put on notice that I will not. Hindi ako atras. Even an inch, I will not. I will suffer the consequences you want. I will answer for my deeds and for my order.